So, you are a project manager, project leader, or somehow responsible for the planning and execution of a project, and you are going to use the PlanMinder. What does that mean? As a project manager, you will be making plans, following up plans, changing, adjusting, tweaking, and optimizing plans. You will also deal with project risks and probably write some project reports. And the PlanMinder will help you. You will create project plans in the Chronos view, where you describe what activities your project consists of and in what order they need to be done. Kairos is an ancient Greek word for time, as in the opportune time to do something. Time in relation to events, as in you can eat when dinner is ready. The automatic scheduler will combine your Kairos plan with project priority and team member availability information to create a schedule. Chronos is the ancient Greek word for time, as on a timeline. The Chronos view will display and let you interact with your scheduled plan as a kind of Gantt chart, with the activities laid out on a timeline. Here you can see who will do what, when. Creating a plan involves breaking the project down into smaller activities. An activity is a logically scoped out unit of work. You assign the activity to a developer, the person responsible for doing the work of the activity. And you, maybe with the help of the assigned developer, estimate how much work it is. As always in the PlanMinder, the estimate is in the form of a minimal and a reasonably sure time. Milestones are an important part of project plans, especially milestones marked as prio points. Only activities connected to a prio point will be scheduled. Prio points appear on the priority view and are used to define priorities between projects and within projects with more than one prio point. When the project has been scheduled, we can see what it looks like in Chronos view. On the right side is the timeline, with the colored bars indicating when work is planned. If you click on the name of an activity or other element of your plan, its dependencies will be shown. Some days may be framed but not filled in. This indicates a day where it would be possible to work on the activity, but the assigned person is not available, either because the person is not working that day or because higher priority work is done. You can reassign work in the Chronos view and run the scheduler to see the effect. The schedule shown is based on the most likely outcome of each individual activity. The PlanMinder also runs a simulation to calculate probabilities. You can turn on Show Uncertainty as box plot to indicate the date range when an activity is likely to be finished. Milestones are always shown as box plots. The X marks the date it is scheduled to be done using the expected outcome calculation. The vertical bar indicates the 50% probability point. It is equally likely that the milestone will be reached before this date as after. The colored box stretches from the day with at least 25% probability to be done to the 75% probability day. The whiskers indicate 10 and 90% probability days. Show Milestone Cumulative Probability Distribution displays even more detailed probability information for milestones. In the selected view type, activities are organized by prio points in priority order. If you want to track what an individual is doing, you can switch to the Organize by People view type. The row for each person shows which days they are assigned work. Turning on Show Availability Probability for People, the grayscale indicates how likely it is that they actually will have work to do on a given date, when all uncertainties are taken into account. Click on the person symbol to expand and see all their planned activities. There is also a view type that orders activities by project. The bars on a project row indicate the total planned work for the project on a given day. Let's go back to the Kairos view. Besides activities, work done by members of your team, you can add external activities to your project. These represent things that will take time but not scheduled work. This could be external commissions, delivery time for goods, or something similar. Once started, the time is transformed into a delivery date. The assigned supervisor updates any changes to the date and reports completion upon delivery. You can add discrete risks. On a failure, you will have to do the activities on the left side, otherwise they can be ignored. The estimated failure probability is used by the scheduler when calculating uncertainties. You or the risk manager can update risk probability as the project progresses and you know more until it is definitely resolved as a pass or a failure. Milestones can be prio points, deadlines, or just milestones. A checkpoint is a milestone that requires a designated person to check and approve some aspect of the work done before the project is allowed to continue. A starting point can be used to define an earliest date when a project or part of a project can be started. To keep things organized, you can use groups. A group is a named node in the project tree view and has a color to indicate grouped elements in plans. You can also switch to color activities by who they are assigned to, or as a gradient, indicating when they are scheduled to be completed. Let's look at the different symbols for activities. This is a scheduled activity. This activity has been completed. This activity has been completed, but with risk for additional work. This signals that it is completed for now, but it is expected that some more unscheduled work will be required at some point. This activity with an X on it is not scheduled. No prio point is dependent on it being finished. This is an ongoing activity. It is not meant to be scheduled, but will still require work. This could be project administration, meetings, or something else that requires time throughout the project. Ongoing activities have no dependencies. If you pull the screen divider to the right, you see a table with numbers and other information. You can select one of the predefined column sets or change each column manually. Here you can get an overview of the total time, budget, or cost of a project and get an overview to see that every activity has been set up correctly. You can also choose to view the time estimates as bar plots with uncertainty markings. There are several different view modes for the Chronos model view. Normal mode and edit mode look the same, but you can only create new activities in edit mode, and you can only enter edit mode if you are authorized to. Expected time makes the area of the activity circle proportional to the total expected time it will take. Uncertainty is the same, but with the uncertainty illustrated with fuzziness. Time left makes the size proportional to the remaining work. Progress displays each activity as a pie chart, showing how much of the total work that remains. Everyone working on activities in the project reports what work they have done. They are also encouraged to update the estimates as they learn more about activities they are working on. The Chronos view is one way to get an overview of the state and progress of the project. To follow up what is happening in the project on a more detailed level, you go to the Reports view and Follow Up tab. Select the period you are interested in and your project. You see two types of reports in the list. Activity reports are created when the time estimate, status, or assigned person has changed for an activity. Work reports are individual entries of reported work. Switch to the Timeline tab to see the reported work on a timeline. This is like Chronos view, but shows the history of what has actually happened. Hover or right-click to see the entries. Maybe you want to, or are required to, write project reports on a regular basis. The PlanMinder has a tool for that too. The report consists of a collection of report elements. Some automatically show statistics and changes since the last report. You can have a milestone status overview and a progress bar graph element. Use labeled text elements for your written report. The field classification lets you easily view the information you want for either all the latest reports for all active projects or all historical reports in one project. New reports will use the last report as a template. There is, of course, more to the PlanMinder than this, but for a project manager, these are the core essentials. Check out the other videos in the series for other aspects of the PlanMinder and visit the resources page at theplanminder.com. In the program or demo, you can always click the Help button for more information.